Hello, everybody, and welcome to your favorite show. We're talking about the best Clemson podcast out there. We're talking about OrangeShadez, brought to you by Arden's Burger and Grill in Central South Carolina. We're here at the Arden's Burger and Grill restaurant, of course, and we appreciate everybody joining in. And first off and foremost, we got to bring in the man of the hour. He is a Clemson legend. We're talking about former wide receiver and great member of the Chicago Bears. Also, we're talking about Mr. Airese Currie. How we doing, Airese?
Hey, how you doing, Jay? What's going on, Tiger Nation? Happy holidays to everyone. Hope everyone's blessed and, having a good time and enjoying time off if you are off, and just time spent with loved ones, those that are dear to your heart.
Amen to that. And I tell you what, Airese, I hope you and your family had a great Christmas and have a safe holiday. I know you're fixing to go out of the country, so make sure you have travel safeties. We're praying over you and just enjoy having you. It's been a great year. I've enjoyed having you working with me. And we're going to have more craziness, more things going on for next year, and we're going to go over the recruiting class first. I tell you what, Airese, Dabo did it again. A great signing class. Christian Bandicourt, tight end. Sammy Brown, linebacker. Heaven Brown Schuler, defensive lineman. Chase Bird, wide receiver. Noah Dixon, safety. Running back David, am I getting this correct, Azuma?
I think that's how you say it, Jay.
Okay. And then we got Tavion Fegan, cornerback. We got Colin Gibson, cornerback. We've got Ashton Hampton, cornerback. We got kicker Nolan Hauser. Ricardo Jones, safety. Defensive lineman Kasai. C.J. Coop Taylor, linebacker. Darian Mayo, defensive lineman. T.J. Moore, wide receiver. Roman O'Connell, offensive lineman. We got quite a few offensive linemen in this particular one. I tell you what, they really pulled out some.
They addressed that need. I'm glad to see it.
Yep, defensive lineman Champ Thompson, offensive lineman Elijah Thurman, Mason Wade, offensive lineman. Bryant Wesco Jr., the big wide receiver out of Texas. That was a big. Especially losing Bo Collins, now you got someone else that can get that 50-50 ball. Joe Wilkerson, safety. Linebacker Drew Woodaz. And finally, we have Watson Young, offensive lineman. They pulled him out of Duke. He was a flip. So, I tell you what, great class. What was your thoughts on it, Airese?
I was very pleased with our signing class. Definitely picking up what we need to pick up for the offensive line, and just to see the talent that we added on the defensive side of the ball. Because as we all know, defense is what wins championships. So we'll continue to build on that side of the ball, and the ones that are returning, the vets that are returning, just to add those young dogs to the depth chart. That I think our defense will be pretty stout come next year.
I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. Well, Airese, let's get into the bowl game. We got Clemson versus Kentucky in the Gator Bowl, and I'm going to let you take it away with when Clemson's on offense versus Kentucky on defense.
Well, we all know where we stand offensively. We have weapons. We have some players that can make plays in Moffitt and Shipley and Tyler Brown, and Cade is solid with the ball when he's protecting the football. We end up finishing the season now with 29.2 points a game, 350 total points. So I'm just looking forward to us to kind of just build on what we did develop towards the latter end of the season, just going into the spring, seeing what we possibly have, whatever evaluations we need to make with that. But I think we'll be pretty solid against their defense. Looking for the plays to be made, of course, from the running game. Moffitt, he was our leading rusher. We just continue to keep feeding him during this bowl game, as well as get Shipley going in. And our guy, the young buck, Tyler Brown, man, he had a heck of a year. He had a heck of a year. So I'm interested to see how he does or he stands out in this bowl game. And of course, our tight end. I was always big on those two this year: the tight end, Brennan School, and Tyler Brown.
I agree with you, and the good thing is that Shipley came back, and he's going to play in the bowl game. He's going to make his announcement of his intentions, which a lot of people think he's fixing to go pro. I don't see him going in the portal. He's been Clemson true and true. I know there's a lot of NC State fans that wanted him to start off with. They're thinking that that's what he's going to do. He's going to enter the portal to finish at NC State. I just don't see that happening. I think he's going to be the difference in this game with Maffa. And I tell you, Dabo didn't have to worry about a lot of people leaving. I thought, our big guy, Tyler Davis, was going to leave. He's playing in the bowl game. And then, of course, we got Barrett Carter back. That was huge. Just a lot of great things that it lets you know where Clemson stands. And the same with Kentucky. Kentucky had a lot of players that could have left, but once they found out about this particular game and who they was playing, that kind of changed. We got running back Ray Davis, offensive guard Kenneth Horsey, and cornerback Andrew Phillips are going to the NFL draft as underclassmen. But Davis and Phillips decided to stay for the bowl game. So
they're trying to stag it on a little bit, trying to show the scouts a little bit more, just a little bit what they have to offer and bring to the table, trying to help them make that decision on why they need to pull the trigger on them.
Exactly. The Wildcats also lost like 13 players to the transfer portal, but 3 are playing in the bowl game. Running back Juton McClain, wide receiver Cole Lanter, and safety Elijah Reed. So the other 10 players didn't have any starts, so that's really not hurting Kentucky other than in depth. So I think and Davis, of course, is the key player in the mix. He led the SEC in touchdowns this season, 13 rushing and 7 receiving. Had that 3 100-yard games. So
he got a heck of a year running the football. Jay, 1,000, almost 1,100 yards on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, he had a really solid year.
So I think this, other than depth, I think both teams are in good shape, to be honest with you. Clemson lost a little bit of depth, a couple of players that we, kind of knew was going to happen. I mean, there was a few that I wasn't expecting, but I think when it's all said and done, we're going to see a lot of the youth anyway, which is what we really needed to see. We needed to see some key young stars come out and get a chance to play in this game. So, these two teams haven't played since 2009 in the Music City Bowl. So, and this will be like their 4th consecutive meeting in a bowl game. So, there's a lot of different things that stand out. And for me, I think Kentucky is going to have to establish some kind of running game in order to win this game. Because Davis, he didn't come back to sit on the sideline and watch him throw for 300 or 400 yards. So if Clemson's defense has any kind of holding power and they can keep Davis in line, I think Clemson's going to definitely, win this game. But they're going to have to stop Davis without. If not, if he has a big game, that means those wide receivers are wide open, and we don't need that. Especially when we got a patchwork defensive back crew going up against Kentucky.
Yeah, you're right. That quarterback, he's been solid as well too. You look at his numbers. He had a pretty decent year throwing the football around, 2,400 yards passing. That's not shabby at all.
That's
not shabby at all, man. 23 touchdowns. Yeah. So we know we need to be sound and in position and execute X's and O's. Once again, I can't stress that enough. X's and O's. Knowing your assignment, being in the right place at the right time, being over top. You're supposed to be over top. Things that I know, I'm sure Coach Reed will have that secondary ready to play. Those guys, I've seen them kind of turn it on towards the end of the season. Look forward to see what Khalil Barnes does back there. He's one of my favorites. I like to see him. He's a dog. I love the way he plays. So I'm excited to see how we stack up against the mighty SEC. Like the SEC. All the talks about SEC. So I love to see this SEC matchup.
Exactly. And we're going to see a lot of DeMonte Kephart and Peter Woods and T.J. Parker in this particular game too, which I think is going to be great because we're going to see what our defense is going to look like for next year. And even with more younger players coming in, the fact that these guys got lots of playing time in this year due to just being stout. I mean, our defense was stout. I mean, yeah, we lost 4 games, but the thing about it wasn't the defense that lost. It was the defense that kept us in those games. There was only one game that kind of got away from them, and that was Duke. But everything else, we kept everybody in check.
Piggyback on the fact that I feel like defense did their job for the most part this season as far as holding and not breaking. Definitely it was just that big game where it was kind of obvious. They just wanted it more than us. They were flying around football. I mean, they were getting after it. I can't take nothing away from Duke on that game. They just wanted it more than us that game, Jay.
Yep. And with Nate Wiggins leaving, Avion Terrell is going to be thrust right into the fire, which I think in the 3 games that he played in where he had more snaps, I should say, he did very well. He was like his brother. He shut down his side. He got a couple, busted plays. I mean, everybody's going to have those games where you're going to have 1 or 2 throws against you that you wish you could have back. But I really think with them, with Wiggins gone, that's going to hurt a little bit, but I think Terrell will be good. Khalil Barnes replacing Makuba, I think, is going to be good. RJ Mickens coming back is going to be great. We just got a lot of great things that I think is going to help Clemson in this bowl game. And some of the early signees are going to actually get some practice that helps them getting ready to go into spring.
That'd be good experience for them going into the spring. That way they'll get a taste of what that college football intensity level is like. It won't be a surprise to them. They'll be sort of play. They'll be gonna have their cherry popped a little bit before they get out there the spring ball. To be able to experience the difference in the speed of the game, because that's the main thing. I mean, you have some guys that you play with and compete against, obviously, at that high school level, but the speed of the game is a whole nother notch once you go from high school to the collegiate level. As a whole, that is, as a whole.
Yeah. Now I want to get your thought on something that I saw this week, and I've heard it on a couple of other radio shows, and I wanted to get your opinion since you are a former player. There is a lawsuit from players right now against the NCAA to allow former players to come back to college and play football, regardless if they played pro or not, and get 3 more years of eligibility. In other words, yeah. Now this is something I was listening. I was like, are you kidding me? There's about 12 players that have entered a lawsuit to not only stay in college, but get 3 more years of eligibility and make it where players can go back and play in college.
Even if they've already technically exhausted their
exactly. Yeah.
I don't agree with that at all. 1 and 2, why the heck would you even want to do some mess like that? Like, what are you trying to prove?
Hey, we'd love to see Airese Currie back in Clemson for 3 more years.
Airese Currie would love to see himself back out there on that football field. My body today. People always say, man, you look good, you still can play. I said, I might be able to play, but I'm not trying to take no hits, not at this age. My body does not heal up the same anymore.
Well, the thing that got me about this particular thing was what it is pretty much players that they know they're not going to make a pro squad. They're not going to, but they want to get those dollars for being on a college football team.
And that was the next thing I was going say, Jay, I was like, what type of player are we referring to these guys that are talking about these lawsuits trying to come back and play with these guys? I was just about to, I'm glad you said that. I was just about to tell these second string, third team type guys that didn't really get a chance to see that much playing time while they were there. So I couldn't see guys that were, in the thick of it. There 4 or 5 years, I have, 7 years, especially with COVID. Some guys were able to get 6 and 7 years. Got a red shirt, a medical shirt, a gray shirt, a green shirt. You got all kinds of shirts now.
How many more color shirts can we make? I just thought that was so interesting. I was like, I've got to talk to Airese about that, because to me, it's silly to go and ask for 3 more years, but it's guys that know they're not going to hear their name called on draft day, and they know that they're probably not going to make a free agent thing, and they probably know they can't even get on the USFL team / I forgot what it's called, but I think it's USFL completely. Yeah.
You got so many other outlets though that you have arena ball at different levels. You have the CFL. You got semi-pro. You got some states where they play their semi-pro players to play semi-pro football. So I don't understand why they would want to come back and take away from the younger guys that are coming in and trying to get their, get a shot at possibly playing and possibly putting themselves in a better position to overall help their families out.
I think it's all about greed. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Because you're going to, unless they're going to extend the size of the teams to where each team has 3 or 4 more slots, and then create 3 or 4 more scholarships. But there's some colleges that barely can get by with the scholarships they have now, as far as,
right.
To me, I heard it and I just started laughing. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then I was like, well, maybe I need to ask a former player what their thoughts on it, because, there could be guys that maybe we don't know their hardships, and they're trying their best to get as much as they can before they leave, knowing that, because some colleges don't have the Tiger Journey.
Paul Journey.
Yeah, Paul Journey.
I know we do a good job of setting our players up as far as one thing I like to talk about a lot is life after sports, and walking into a career where you're going to be compensated fairly well for your time. So
exactly.
I think Jeff and Rashard and them do a heck of a job when they established that Paul Journey department up there.
All right, well, Airese,
that's perfect. That's great.
Let's get to our bowl picks. Of course, Airese Currie destroyed me in the regular season by 10+ games, so we're gonna go through and get his picks for some bowl games. And Airese, I'm gonna let you take it away and give me what you got.
Okay, for the Gator Bowl, of course, I got to ride with my Tigers on the Gator Bowl. I got us coming out on that. I'm gonna say I didn't really have a score in mind, but I'll say so. We pulled this one off 28-14-ish, somewhere around there, 28-14. The Pop-Top Royal Bowl, I got Kansas State winning that one. Orange Bowl, I got to go with UGA on the Orange Bowl. The Rose Bowl, I'm going with Alabama. I think they'll pull it out. Just history in that regards. The Big Ten comes down south. They seem, for the most part, they always seem to get smacked by a Southern team. So
yeah.
I'm gonna stick to that tendency and that historical point on that. I'm going with Alabama there. Sugar Bowl, I'm going with UW. Going with the Sugar Bowl, and then I threw an extra one in there. The Cotton Bowl, I'm going with Ohio State over Missouri in the Cotton Bowl. And for the national championship game, I got Alabama and UW playing for the national championship game with Penix coming away with it. I got Washington with the upset over Bama, and I think they'll pull it off. Even with Milroe playing as well as he's playing, I think Penix get his going. Give him hell out there.
All right, that sounds, boy, you got a great one. Of course, I'm going to start off with the Pop-Tarts Bowl, the new one where the actual trophy is a toaster. I saw that. I was like, the Lord mercy. They'll think of anything.
Is it a bedazzled looks like some crystal, appears crystal-like, or is it just a regular looking toaster?
No, it's a football, silver chrome football that they can put Pop-Tarts in. They actually had 2 strawberry Pop-Tarts, and they put it down. It actually makes pop. Yeah, it's what coach. Every coach's office needs one. It's NC State versus Kansas State. Give me Kansas State. I think NC State's got a lot of holes, a lot of guys left, and I think Kansas State, is a little more stout. And I want ACC to have a great, look, but at the same time, I think Kansas State's just a little bit better in this game. And that's just because of all the losses to NC State. Give me Kansas State in this game. We're not going to go over scores, so we'll just leave it there. Of course, the next game we have is Clemson versus Kentucky. I agree with you. Clemson's going to win this game, but I think it's going to be tighter. I think that Kentucky's going to get some runs on Clemson on the outside. I think these young quarterbacks will do well against the wide receivers, but they're not that well quite yet as far as tackling. There's some minor things that I've seen them miss this year in some of the games that they played, and that tackling is one of the big things. So, and Kentucky runs well on the outside. So, I got Clemson winning this game. Kind of like what you said, I got it as a 34-31 ball game.
Okay.
And the next game I got is Missouri, Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. I'll go ahead with that one. I'm gonna give it to Missouri. I think Missouri spanks Ohio State in this game. I think Ohio State has so many losses, and they got some great guys that go in behind it, but they don't have hardly any playing time. Ohio State did not have a chance to play a lot of its players this year because they were going to get a lot of dogfights because they just wasn't the Ohio State of old. And that's where I give the SEC team a nudge. Missouri didn't lose that many people, based on what I saw and who they got coming back, I think Missouri takes this game. I don't know a score. I'm just going to say an outright win. Ole Miss versus Penn State, the Chick-fil-A Bowl. I was kind of tethered on this one, but I'm going to go with Ole Miss winning in a 24-21 ball game. I think there's not going to be a blowout. Some of these games here at the end, I don't see a blowout other than one, and I'm fixing to get to that one, and that's Georgia versus Florida State. Georgia has lost quite a few players, but Florida State, the key players that they needed to come back and play, plus the fact they didn't, and the fact they're not in the national championship game, I just think this team is just not. I'd love for them to make a statement and beat Georgia, but because of what all happened to them, I just think there's a lot to Florida State right now that their minds are on trying to lead the ACC. Their minds are not in this game, and that's where you need it to be 100% focused. Georgia's going to be focused to put a whooping on them and say, listen, y'all didn't deserve to be in this game at all. Y'all can't even beat us, so why should you even be in the national championship game? So give me Georgia huge in this game. I'm talking 48-10. I mean it.
So it's going to be a beatdown.
Yeah, it's going to be a beatdown, and even though this is not really Florida State that they're playing, I mean they're playing Florida State, but I just think they're playing.
They're not going to get their best from Florida State.
Yeah. I think Florida State's just got way too many distractions. And then the game that you picked, I also think Tennessee beats Iowa because Tennessee actually knows how to score. But Iowa plays great defense, but I think it's going to be like a 17-14 game. National championship games. All right. I got Michigan beating Alabama. I think Alabama is overrated. I think Michigan is a team on a mission to make a point. I think they pull out the win against Alabama. Washington versus Texas. I agree with you. Washington beats Texas in this game. And I think they beat them by 10 points. I got them at a 31-21 ball game. And then national championship, Washington versus Michigan. I agree with you. Michael Penix shows why he should have been the Heisman Trophy winner and takes this game and just makes it his game. He has to, because the defense will allow Michigan to run on them, and that's going to keep Michigan close. This will not be a blowout. I'm thinking
shootout.
Yep, I think it's 38-35 with Washington getting a last-minute touchdown because Penix is going to have to be at his best, because their defense against Michigan's offense is going to be – there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. So I'm thinking 38-35 in the national championship. Penix wins the MVP for the CFP. So we agree. Washington, in its Pac-12, they leaving, gets the win, hit, and takes the national championship to the Big Ten, where it will never see it again. So. All right. Well, any final thoughts, Airese, before we go? Because we know we got the.
I just think it's been one heck of a year to be able to do the OrangeShadez Podcast with you, Jay. So I just thank you for just having me as your co-host here on the OrangeShadez. And I want to thank all the listeners and thank the Clemson family and Tiger Nation for all their support. And as y'all continue to support, stay with us. It's only up from here. Sky is the limit. Just continue to just get better and better, and just continue to be blessed. I wish you all the best. Safety, safe travels if anybody is traveling or going out of the country, out of town, out of state, wherever it may be. It's New Year's. Just wish y'all much safety and just look forward to next year.
And where can they find you, Airese?
They can find me on social media, on IG, Airese_Currie, or Facebook, Airese Currie. Also as well on X, or formerly known as Twitter. You can find me on there. It's at Airese Currie. Then you can reach out to me directly if you want to reach out to me directly. Email AireseCurrie@gmail.com. If you are interested in any sports performance training, athletic training, speed training, agility training, wide receiver training, whatever type of training to enhance your performance level, don't hesitate to reach me on any one of those platforms or via email, as well as any primary care needs that you need. www.lionsheartprimary.com, and that is Lions, LYONS.com. And feel free to reach out to us for any family medicine needs that you may have, as well as weight loss management that you're looking forward to, or you got a weight loss journey you're trying to partake in. So reach out to me on either one of those platforms.
And if you didn't write that down, you can go to any one of our websites. All you got to do, there's a link. You'll find it. His Lions Heart. Oh man, I tell you, I just went blank on my head. I was sitting there telling my thing. Yep, Lions Heart Primary. You'll see the sponsor picture in the bottom of each of our FurmanJoust.com, DeFanboys.com, GreenvilleSportsMedia.com, and a whole pack of wolves, our new one. It'll be on there.com, and also DeFangirls.com. We're starting we got a DeFangirls group starting up. So if you know any ladies that would like to join, DeFangirls.com will be coming up pretty soon. It'll be just for the ladies, because the ladies love sports too, and we want them to know that they're a part of us too. Now, OrangeShadez will be going to Clemson Wine Bar starting next year. We'll still have Arden's Burger and Grill. We'll still come here from time to time. We'll have a special event, hopefully next year. We'll get some of the former players to come up, and we'll be here at Arden's Burger and Grill. So Arden's Burger and Grill will still be a part of OrangeShadez. So but we're going to be moving into Clemson Wine Bar, and we'll be bringing the FurmanJoust.com here to Arden's Burger and Grill. So we'll still be here. Airese, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. And I'll still be in touch with you. We're going to get together. We're going to have a great show. And we'll probably have one more podcast. I think we're going to do a post-game podcast. We'll look at it, see when you're coming back, and go from there. But it's been an honor, Airese. And we want to thank Arden's Burger and Grill here in Central South Carolina. See Donnie and Angie and they will treat you right, the best of everything. Thanks for joining us. All right, man.